Hello guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Tensura x Kuma Kuma Bear, Tensura by NullAzatoth Chapter 5. Clang, 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 Hakuro, it seems you have improved, my student. Grace. It's only natural that I get strong, master. I can't stay weak, can I? Hakuro. Ho ho ho, but I'm also surprised at the improvements of those other brats, especially Diablo and Benimaru children. Grace. They now serve Yuna, so it's only natural they get stronger. Hakuro. Ah, the will to get stronger, to be of use and to protect those to be protected. I miss that feeling. It felt like it was only yesterday when I chose to become stronger to serve my lord. Student 4. Hey, sensei, aren't you too old for that? Hakuro had a thick mark on his forehead. Lucifer. You fool, are you planning to get us killed, Hakuro? I see that someone wants to have better improvements. I sure have good students, ho ho ho. Arthur. Our current training sessions are already killing me, and now we're gonna get harder ones? Hakuro. Anyways, let's finish this, Grace. Hakuro went and disarmed Grace in seconds. Grace. Thank you for your guidance, sensei. Hakuro. I'm always happy to see my students' improvements. Anyways, you brats will have a new training regime next week, so be prepared. Hakuro said with an evil smirk and his eyes glowing. All the students felt a chill on their backs. Lucifer. This is your fault, you idiot. Student 4. Goman. Gerald. Well, at least we can get stronger, right? Everyone. Sigh. Grace. Say, Yuna, do you have anything to do today? Yuna. Not really. Why? Grace. Well, how about we go shopping together? Yuna. Sure. Grace. Girls, me and Yuna are gonna go shopping together. Want to come? Mimi. Sorry, I have to talk to my parents today. Ruby. Me and my brother need to go report to our father. Lilith. Actually, I'm free, but Lilith looks at Devil with hope. Devil. Sigh. Sorry, Yuna-sama, it would have been better to have my sister as your guard. But today we have to report to our parents as well. Lilith. Lilith pouts. Devil. Don't pout at me. Tell mother you want to go shopping with Lilith-sama. Lilith felt a chill in her spine. Lilith. Actually, I can't join today, sorry. Yuna. I guess that leaves us with you two, Ember and Velvet. Ember. I am free, Velvet. Same, Grace. That's good, then let's go. So the four of them went to go shopping, from cheap stores to really expensive ones. Yuna. Is this alright? I mean, this is really expensive? Grace. Don't worry, Yuna, as expensive this is, it really isn't that expensive for us. The card Rimuru-sama gave you is close to infinite money. Velvet. True, Ember. Tempest resources and wealth is said to be so huge that the economy would possibly crash, if not prioritize. Grace. Thankfully Lord Nyalmile was able to solve it. He used Lord Rimuru card idea or points, and made a system for new currency to balance it, so the value of currency wouldn't jump up or down. Velvet. It seems like the wage or salary of every Tempestian was an average of 10 to 20 gold coins. It almost destroyed the old system. Ember. I mean that much money, and it would have lessened the value of gold coins or any old currency. Heck, everyone in Tempest is filthy rich. Grace. All Tempestians have enough currency to be considered a noble or royal depending on their job, and even with the amount they gain and store in the bank. The currency of Tempest doesn't lessen, it's like a trade, of give and take. Yuna. I'm a bit confused, but is it like trading work for money? Grace. Normally one must work for money, and it depends on your status or position, and the quality of work you do, but here we use points, and it's in a form of currency. Basically these points are stored in these cards. It could be stored in the bank. Velvet. And when you enter or leave Tempest, these points could be exchanged for gold and gold for points, since we don't use actual currency here anymore. Ember. With this we wouldn't have to worry about the economy going haywire, since you can get points just by working, such easy thing. Unlike most works outside of Tempest, they either rob you or cheat you of your work, but here everything revolves around hard work and are paid the amount they worked. Geese. That's the reason no one here is poor. Not to mention those who want to take advantage of the system so they get rich when leaving Tempest is impossible, since there is a limit. Depending on status you have a limit on what you receive and get, even those above can't cheat this. It's a solid system. Yuna. I see, I get it now, so that's why these clothes are worn by many even though it's expensive. Grace. Yes, normally people would think it's easy to buy in Tempest cause it has lower value, but that is only because of the system making it possible. If you buy this outside of Tempest, which is possible, only nobles could buy them, and high-ranked ones. Velvet. That's why many call Tempest as the Reach's land, that this clothes has low value for any citizens of Tempest, but so expensive for anyone outside of Tempest. Yuna was able to understand. Yuna. Wait, just how many points does this card have? Grace. Each card has a certain level and authority. Some cards wouldn't let you buy higher value, but mine has no such restrictions. Even things that haven't been released to the public yet are possible for me to buy. And these aren't just mere cards. Yuna. What do you mean? Ember. These are also identification cards. It has all our information. Also, it can be obtained when you are officialized as a visitor, guest or citizen. It is all written here. Velvet. And this rank is divided by color. Some of the cards that has the highest level are special, like ours, since it is directly connected to our soul. Yuna. EHH. Connected to the soul? Grace. Yes, just like mythical weapons, it chose and only has one master, so one else could use it. It has a will of its own, but this only applies to the highest cards. Also, Yuna-san doesn't have one yet. The one you're using is a specialized card for situations like your own. Its rank and authority is higher than ours. Yuna. What? Velvet. That's right. With our cards we can use them to enter facilities that have high restrictions and such, those not open to the public. Yuna. Really then, what are the levels of these cards? Ember. Well, there are a few of this: Copper card, Commoner, General card. Bronze. Any adventure or merchant. Silver. Average soldier or those in the military. Gold. High-ranking officer or official. Or anyone in a high-ranking post, that includes VIP or nobles from different nations. This is also divided by rank. Bar. VIP, high-rank official. Star. VVIP, commander-level official. Generals, marshals etc. Rose. VVVIP, royalty. And the lower cabinets and subordinates of powerhouses like Dwargon, Sarian etc. Yuna. Then what about ours? The three of them looked at each other nervously. They didn't know whether to tell her or not. Grace. Yuna. The amount of money inside them is high, especially for gold, since the gold cards carry platinum coins, and the rose symbol lets them carry a minimum of 100,000 platinum coins. Yuna. Yuna knew the currency of the world after being told by Grace and the others how absurd one platinum coin is. Velvet. But our cards are a level higher and above. Yuna. Then what level is this card? They each looked at each other awkwardly and decided to tell her. Magisteel. Only given to those acquainted with Rimuru Tempest. Mithril. Can only be given to those chosen by the Emperor Rimuru Tempest himself. Orachalium. This can only be given to those students to the subordinates of Rimuru. Yuna. Wait, so does that mean everyone who was taught by Hakuro? And is mine Magisteel or Mithril? Grace. These chosen students under Hakuro, yes, but I have a higher card, you see, since I am a direct student, not just any student. Also Yuna, you are neither of those two. Yuna. Yuna was confused since he was an acquaintance and chosen to be given by Rimuru. Velvet. Well, there are 3 more cards. Adamantite. Only given to those of a high-rank subordinate of the octagram. These are only the trusted subordinates of the highest subordinates. An example would be the 6 demon peers under Misery and Rain, or the Besk-Eaters under Carrion, since they are a subordinate of Carrion, who is also a subordinate of Milam. It also identifies the absolute owner. It has the owner's magicule signature, is a part of their soul, and has their DNA using blood, a special function only given to cards from Orachalium to Hihirikane. Yuna. So this is how they are connected. Grace. Yes. Dragotite. A card divided into 2, Divine White and Jet Black. The white card can only be given to the direct disciples or student of the subordinates of Rimuru, or any awakened beings. If Guy, Gazel, Elmija or Rudra choose to have students that completely follows them, then they will be given the authority and power of a Dragatite cardholder in Tempest. Of course, they could still be restricted. Unrestricted cards can be restricted by the Emperor if necessary. It's not fully unrestricted, but can have any information if not restricted by any means necessary. The Jet Black card is a card that can only be given to children of awakened beings like the Octagram, Gazel, Elmija, Rudra, Yuna. Basically Tier 3 to Tier 1 prince and princesses. This card can also be given to students under Rimuru like Kenya, Gale, Ryota and Alice. It a card above the Divine White, and has superior power and authority. Yuna. I am confused. I thought Grace had the higher position and authority. The three of them had problematic looks. Grace. The thing is, my real status was a Divine White card, but then I got a higher position. Velvet. We weren't able to become her friend before she was promoted, that's why. And she was also promoted not too long after she was officialized. Yuna. Then what rank are you and mine? Grace. The highest rank, Orichallium. It is an absolute card divided to 5 levels. The first level, having the color of platinum blue, it is given to any honorable or honorary being that has a demon lord seed or hero's egg, chosen by the Octagram, meaning they are candidates to join the council. Grace. This here is my card. Yuna. So pretty, it has this glow and Sura. It's like Velvet's and Ember but has those red lines, while Ember and Velvet only had golden linings. Grace. The aura it releases is my signature magicule, and the lining represents us individually, so if people see these lines, they'd immediately know who I am. There are only 2 other candidates beside me, having a different lining color. I am also the strongest. Yuna. There's 2 more. And you're the strongest. Grace. Yes, the other is actually in the Frozen Continent and the Eastern Empire. The strongest is current here in front of you. Smirk. Yuna was surprised. Grace. Well, I don't know the higher power since this is my card limit authority and knowledge, but I don't know yours. Ember. Yeah, same. I only saw my father's and other patrons. They had different symbols, but for some reason, I remember seeing that same card somewhere, but where? She forgot that Shuna had the same card when she took her out for dinner once. Velvet. Same. She also saw her father's card once. Suddenly a competent demon butler came out of Yuna's shadow. Diablo. I can help with that. So Diablo proceeds to explain the cards with higher symbols and authority. The second having the green glow with blue linings, this card represents authorized personnel and ministers of Tempest, meaning Mjalmile, Vesta, Kaijin, and more. The third card is a Daker color, having ashen-colored lines. This is a card used by the strongest and closest subordinates of the Octagram and others. This individuals are Guy, Misery, Rain, Milam, Obera, Midley, Frey, Carrion, Gazel, Vaughn, Jane, Dolph, Henrietta, Luminous, Hanada, Roy, Lewis, Gunther, Ramirez, Beretta, Veldora, Chris, Rudra, Kondo, Damrata, Revived, Minute, Calgurio, Krishna, Dino, Pico, Gracia, Elmija, Erald, Ellen, Yum, Grucius, Raisin, Leon, Colored Knight Commanders. Being the closest subordinates, they were given authority unless necessary. But they had a lower authority than Rimuru's patrons. Since they are technically outsiders of Tempest, they can only have enough authority to enter forbidden places or authorized rooms when accompanying their masters. Are looking for information in the sacred library, open only to those with authority. The third is a black card that had different colors. This card had a signature color of each patron, symbolizing them. The fourth card is a dark purple card, only given to the highest position like awakened beings. Octagram, True Dragons, Gazel, Rudra. This people are the only holders of this card. But one card was special. Veldora, who was a guardian deity of Tempest, had a card with a black scaled dragon similar to his dragon form, indicating his absolute authority. His card had no restrictions whatsoever. And finally, the highest authority has absolutely no restrictions whatsoever. A jet black card, having a dragon symbol. There is one card having golden eyes, while there were multiple cards with red eyes. The jet black dragon symbolizes the absolute power held by the absolute Emperor Rimuru Tempest. The red-eyed dragons were only given to the empresses and queens. The power this card had could turn the whole cardinal world upside down. Suddenly Yuna turned to her card, and saw a dragon with red eyes, and she turned pale. Yuna. Rimuru-san what have you done? Only they had such a card. No one and no one else can ever have this precious cards. Yuna had her color drained. Power enough to mobilize the whole Tempest army. Yuna was sweating like waterfalls. Power that could control the black numbers, having an army of 3,000 archdemons, 5,000 greater demons, 8,000 lesser demons, 12 demon peers. And finally as 4 demon ancestors. With those cards, they had authority to command us. But of course the other 3 are holders of these cards as well, so only I was to be commanded. But even I alone can destroy the whole cardinal world without intervention. Author. Diablo being Diablo, hired more demons of the black, yellow, violet and white lineage. Yuna was on the verge of collapsing. While the 3 girls were also pale and sweating after seeing the card she had. They were now regretting learning such heavy information. Grace. I knew it, the authority she had as Lord Rimuru's wife was above and beyond. Velvet. This. Even father didn't have authority over the demon army, only Tempest military. Ember. That much. Father is basically under her jurisdiction, and the demon army. I heard that it was once a secret army only commanded by Lord Rimuru alone. Yuna. Why did he gave me this? What were you thinking, Rimuru-san? Meanwhile. Rimuru. Acho. Shuna. Anata, are you alright? Rimuru. I am fine, Shuna. But I think Yuna-chan is thinking about me. Fufufu. Does she miss me? Shuna. Nope. I think she finally found out about the dragon card. Rimuru. She must be happily shopping with her new friends. Fufufu. Shuna. If anything, I just pray that the 4 of them and my niece doesn't lose their minds after learning the power that the dragon card holds. Back to Yuna and her friends. Diablo. So basically this card gives absolute authority for its wielder as the wife of Lore. That card in your hand is actually one. Although it is an unidentified card, you should be careful, Yuna-sama. Anyone would go to war just to get that. All 4 of them are pale, remembering how Yuna told them, how she used it openly at public. Yuna. That's the reason they denied me using it. Grace. Yuna. You used it when you paid the bill 3 days ago, right? And you used it just earlier. Openly. In public. The 4 of them are pale. If rumors go out that she was using this card, then her position as Empress was already spreading. Yuna. That's why they all bowed to me and respected me, when it wasn't openly announced that I was Rimuru-san's fiancé. He tricked me, he planned this all along. Yuna said with visible anger. Diablo, seeing this, was able to catch up to what his lord was planning. To trick Yuna in using the dragon card would be like announcing yourself as a fiancé of the demon lord and the future queen. That and the fact that only queens and empresses hold such card, Yuna had no choice but to accept her new status. Diablo was surprised and impressed. But in truth it was just Rimuru being a doting idiot that forgot the influence of the card. Anyways, just like that, Yuna and the other 3 went and buyed everything they can. There was nothing they could do, so after shopping they went to a hot spring. Yuna. That Rimuru, what was he thinking? Sigh. Grace. Maybe Lord Rimuru forgot. Yuna looks at the eyes and says. Yuna. Do you really think so? Grace. No. They went home to get some rest. Yuna, who returned to the castle, went to Rimuru's office. Yuna. So. Do you have anything to say? Yuna said, looking at Rimuru with irritation. The other girls, seeing this, knew why she's angry. Just let her be. They wanted Rimuru to learn his lesson after all. Rimuru. What do you mean? Yuna. Don't play dumb. You made me use this dragon card without telling me how much power it had, so my status as your fiancé would be made public even without you announcing it. Rimuru. Oh yeah, only those married and to be married to me have this card. Yuna. Quote. You. Forgot, didn't you? Rimuru. Teehee. Rimuru made the cutest face and post he could do. But sadly for him, Yuna isn't gonna buy it. Yuna. Don't teehee me. Chloe. Ma, there is nothing we can do about that. Anyways, Yuna-chan, do you have anything to do tomorrow? Yuna. Not really. Shizu. That's great, how about we go and have some fun, like a girls talk? Yuna. Sure. Lately Shion-san and Hinata-san have been teaching me with the sword, but I don't know much about any of you yet. Velzard. Then it's settled. Rimuru. Etta. Can I tag along? Girls. No. Rimuru. Fa. Bu but. Seal. It's a girls talk master. Rimuru Juicy gave up, not wanting to anger all his wife and fiancé. Velgrint. Anyways, let's go explore tomorrow so Yuna can know more about us and Tempest. Elmesia. Many Tempestians already knows her status anyways, thanks to a certain slime, so there is no problem with her going around with us. Girls. True. Rimuru. I also want to go around with Yuna-chan too. Hump. Rimuru was being childish, but he remembered something he was gonna give to Yuna. Rimuru. Oh yeah. Come here Yuna, I'm gonna give you something. Yuna looks at him skeptically. Rimuru. It's not something like the card, I promise. Yuna. Really? Rimuru. Yes, am I that untrustful? Yuna. Fine. Yuna goes to Rimuru, and Rimuru took a case underneath his table showing it to Yuna. Yuna. What is this? Rimuru. Open it to find out. Rimuru said while smiling at Yuna. Yuna. That smile is illegal. Girls. Ah, that killer smile of his. Yuna took the case, and on a closer look the case had a black top and black bottom. Above it was a bear symbol with a crown, but unlike her old bear designs, this one looked realistic and fierce. She opened it, and saw a beautiful katana with a bright red blade. The back side of the blade had black, while the hilt was white with a bear logo on it. Author. Think of it having a bear symbol close to the tsuba, or sword guard. And besides it was fingerless gloves that had a bear symbol in it. The glove symbol. The right glove had a black bear with white eyes, while the left glove had a white bear with black eyes. And finally there was a pendant and earrings that was near the gloves. She thought it was mere accessories. Yuna. This blade is so beautiful. Rimuru. Since you're my soon-to-be wife, you will need a blade that can protect you. I personally asked Kurobi to prioritize this sword. It's a legendary sword, by the way, inches away from mythical. Yuna. Thank you. Yuna blushes from being called his wife. Girls. Rimuru. Kawaii. Rimuru. Ahem. Anyways, this sword already has its will, so hold it and put your magicules in it. Yuna did as she was told, and the sword shines a rainbow color, and had black and white aura around it. Rimuru. Congratulations Yuna, it choose you. Girls. Congratulations. Yuna blushes from the praising. Rimuru. So this gloves are special. As you can see, it's made out of the toughest materials out there. The bear symbol is an element core, the black bear using fire, and white bear using eyes, and you like those weak ones. This is special, and doesn't need to be changed out.
Yuna was surprised. She heard about this element core from Grace. Her sword also had one with a dragon symbol. Rimuru. By the way, those two elemental cores are special than most, since we used a true dragon core to forge it. Velzard and Velgrund shipped away a piece of their soul and dragon factor. As small as it is, it was still enough to evolve any sword from a mere normal sword to a mythical sword without any special forging. That's the amount of value that core has. Yuna. What? Why did you two use some of your souls and dragon core? Yuna was surprised that they did such a thing, and knew that was dangerous. Velzard. Calm down Yuna-chan, we can regenerate our souls and dragon FSCTOR. We have ultra-speed soul regeneration, after all we trained for infinite years in Rimuru's space.
Velgrund. She's right, think of this as a gift from us. We can't let our cute new sister have a plain regular core, right? And if you're thankful, then call us big sis. Velgrund said happily. Yuna blushes from being called a little sister. Yuna. Thank you big sister Velzard and big sis Velgrund. Velgrund, Velzard. So cute. The other girls were jealous of the two dragons. Velzard. Also that Grace girl has a blade with a dragon core as well. She's a proficient user of lightning, so Veldora gave her his blessings and some soul and dragon factor to make hers. Yuna was surprised that Grace also has such valuable sword. Yuna. So they have high expectations for her, huh? I guess her burdens were really heavy, so that's why she had little to no friends. Don't worry about Grace, from now on I'll stay by your side. Rimuru. Your sword also has one. The element it has is special. It has the properties of my energy turn null, which is nothingness. You need to be careful because that sword can erase any concept.
just by swinging it can erase the concept that is passed through, even information particles. Yuna. What? Why did you put such dangerous energy? Yuna was scared hearing that. Rimuru. Don't worry, the girls will teach you. Shizu. Don't worry, Yuna-chan, we'll train you. The others nods. Yuna. Thank you. Yuna said shy. Rimuru. If you use the sword while activating the gloves, the two elements can be applied to the sword. Yuna. Really? Yuna said with shining eyes, she wanted to use a flaming sword after all. And she can now do that, not just fire but ice. Rimuru. Yes, that sword has 5 major properties in its blade. First is its sharpness. The amount of sharpness it has is above anything you know. Using it can cut a mountain just by moving it. Without any force, it can be controlled with magicules, no need to worry. Yuna. This is dangerous, I need to train harder. Rimuru. That's good. Anyways, the second property is its heavy weight. The reason why you were able to lift it earlier was because of it acknowledging you as its master. And if that sword falls to the ground, it would undoubtedly crush the earth. We used a special ore, called Star Heart. The weight is like that of a star, and as someone from Earth you know what that means, right, Yuna? Yuna. Yes. I actually liked watching videos about theories and I know that it's insanely heavy. Rimuru. The weight property could be used to generate more power when you wield it, and if it's being hanged on a wall or something, it doesn't destroy it, since it has its own will, it knows when it's being stored or such. No one else could use this, me and the girls can lift it, or some other people with strong strength, but we can't fully wield it, or use it to its full potential, since you are its master. Yuna. So it's my personal sword. Yuna said excitedly, she has a sword that only she can use. Rimuru. Yes, but please don't use it unless necessary, I'll give you another sword later. Yuna became a little sad hearing this. Yuna. I see, I understand. Rimuru. Don't worry, it will be a legendary grade as well, and has a will, but it wouldn't have any of these properties since these properties are actually peak mythical grade, and the 5 properties it has is even comparable to a Genesis class, so this sword is special. Yuna understood how special this sword truly is. It's not something she can wield every day. One wrong move and she might accidentally destroy a country. Rimuru. I'll ask Kurobi to put elemental properties on that sword later, so you can have fun using that weaker sword. Anyways, the third property is its evolution. This sword evolves with its owner, something unique grade or legendary grades have, but this one is different. You should be able to tell from its blade that it has something special. This blade can change its density as it grows, it gets harder, shaper and heavier, it evolves as its owner evolved. Yuna. So when I get stronger, the sword also gets stronger. Rimuru. Yes, other sword can evolve with its owner, but only the sword grade itself changed together with its strength, but this one has a special blade. It's made using an ore we found called Void Ore. We used Void Metal and Star Heart to make its hilt and blade, then we made a section of layers to complete it. Basically we combined 3 ores, inside was the Metal Heart, then Void Ore and Void Metal, and as we create the blade and tang of the sword, we covered it with another layer of Void Ore, so inside and outside are made with a dense amount of magicules, creating this unique blade. We also reforged our own swords with Void Ore, but since our blades are already created we only made an outer layer, unlike yours that had 2 layers of Void Ore. You know how a katana is made, right? So this sword more than 10,000 layers when folded, meaning the Void Ore has at least 10,000 folds. Can you imagine the amount of strength and toughness this sword has? And we had to ask Velgrind help, you know. The heat we needed was higher than the sun to forge this sword. Yuna. What? Is it really alright for me to have such valuable sword? Rimuru. Of course, you don't have to worry, we also asked Kurobi to make our new swords before you came. Even the other demon lords asked for a new one, and a complete copy of our old ones. It's being maintained right now, since it's in the process of evolving into high Genesis class and as doormat. But you're not a hero egg bearer yet, or a saint, so your sword can take time evolving before. Yuna. I see. Phew. Chloe. Hey. So Yuna-chan doesn't want to be unique, huh? Foo how humble our little sister is. Yuna. Wah. Yuna was a blushing mess right now. Everyone. She's so cute when she blushes. Rimuru. Aham. Anyways, the fourth is its regeneration. Any type of mythical blade can regenerate over time, but it takes more than hundreds if not thousands of years to fully recover. That takes us to its last and fifth property. Yuna listened intently. Rimuru. This sword has a special skill engraved into it. Normally we can only put magic circuits or engraved magic on swords, but most if not all swords wielded by us demon lords, heroes and true dragons have skills. We were able to do this by using the dragon cores that had a soul, so we can put skills in it since it basically has a soul of its own. And just like ours, your sword has ultra speed regenerate, infinite regeneration. With this as we'll be able to regenerate in mere seconds. It's practically invincible now, you wouldn't even be able to tell it was cut. Here I'll show you. Rimuru stands up and took out his sword Tempest. Yuna seeing this backed up a little, watching in anticipation. Rimuru swing his sword on the blade, but the sword just passed by, and yet Yuna felt this clash of metals, and even saw the magicules clashing with each other. Rimuru, see that? It looked as if it just passed the sword, but in reality, my sword was slowly destroying it, and eating it away. My sword has my old ultimate skill, Beelzebub, but your sword regenerated so fast it was like my sword phased through yours, and the turn null energy inside it protected it from my US. If not for the energy, then Beelzebub would have eaten the sword and the regeneration skill in seconds. Yuna. Wow. That's so cool. Yuna said while imagining herself endlessly swinging it without the fear of it shattering. Rimuru. But Yuna, you must not use it like an amateur, okay? Just because it has this properties doesn't mean it makes the user all powerful. After all, what makes the sword special isn't the blade but the wielder. If you give a super sharp sword to a child, he wouldn't be able to cut a tree. Heck, he wouldn't even be able to hold it properly. That's how it applies to you. And if you use the peak of swordsmanship with that sword, smirk. What do you think will come out of it? Yuna hearing this knows what he meant. After all, experience and knowledge is key to using a sword or any martial arts, but hearing his last statement made her go pale. She could already imagine something like cutting a universe in half, but is that possible? Rimuru. Kukuku. Be careful, okay Yuna. This sword can actually cut a world in half, and if pushed to the limits, then reality itself will not be spared. Yuna can now confirm her words earlier. Yuna. I see, I'll put that in mind. Also, are there any other skill inside this sword? Rimuru. Well, yes, it has 4 extra skills: vibration, pierce, poison and paralyze. Vibration makes the sword move ultra speed, basically it'd like a chainsaw. So you know what to do, right? Yuna. Quote. So even without the other property it can cut through anything like butter. Rimuru. Yes, and you understand the other 2 skills from its name, right? Pierce helps its tip get sharper. Since it's a katana it slashes not pierce, so with this you can make a unique fighting style with both slashing and piercing. Meanwhile, poison lets the blade have poison property. You can even enhance it with poison skills, if you ever had any, and finally you can paralyze someone by slashing them, so be careful who you use this sword on. Yuna. Okay. Rimuru. Also, since this is a true dragon soul, you can put more skills in it. You have a maximum of 2 unique skills and 1 ultimate. I can put some on it. But think of it first so you can use it to the fullest. In the library there is a special section, called the Information of Skills Akashic Records. Show your card to the highest rank librarian there, they'll know what to do. Yuna. I see, I'll go look for one later when visiting the library. Rimuru. Okay then. Now that the sword is finished, let's go to the gloves now, shall we? Yuna. Quote. Wait, there's more. Rimuru. Of course, didn't I tell you it was special? Yuna. I thought you were just talking about its materials and the elemental cores. Rimuru. Anyways, the glove is indeed special, but what makes it special is its property and hidden weapon. Yuna. So it also has some properties, huh? Also hidden weapon. Rimuru. Well, it's more like the glove itself is the weapon, but that glove can actually turn into a gauntlet. Yuna. So it's not just to hold the sword. Rimuru. Yes, I heard that you were quite efficient in hand-to-hand combat, so I thought of making it. Also, you can't always use that while wielding a sword, Yuna. You must strengthen your hands and build calluses, so when you train you must not use them, although you would lose those when you evolved into a spiritual entity, since you don't need anything like muscles etc., but you still need to learn hard work, to push yourself into your limits, and calluses is a symbol of that. Yuna nods in understanding. Yuna. I understand. Rimuru. So Yuna, if you look at this gloves you could see that they have a will of its own right. just like the sword, but this is different. You can't actually take them off. If you wear them now, then you couldn't be able to take them off forever. Yuna. Then how do I take them off then? Is there a proper procedure? Rimuru. Well, my dear Yuna, how about you learn from your big sis? Smirk. Chloe, can you show her? Chloe. Of course, anything for my little sister. Yuna is being her shy self and blushing. Chloe. Foo, how cute. Anyways, look at my hand, Yuna. Yuna looks at her hand. Magical circuits formed in Chloe's hand. Her hand suddenly had a clock symbol, and then a glove suddenly materialized, like particles. So think of Iron Man's nano suit. That's how it materializes, but way cooler, with the aura and magic circuits and everything. Chloe. Foo, what I did was summon it, just like those in the animes. It can't be taken off, but you can store it in your soul. It's basically dormant, until it gets activated and goes back to where it should be. Yuna was able to understand the concept of it. Rimuru. Anyways, these gloves don't just become gauntlets, they also have unique properties and skills of their own. The first, it has the same properties as having turn null, skills, regeneration and the weight. You can use its turn null by punching something and you can make that punch heavy by applying weight into it. It has the same material as the sword when it's in gauntlet form, but in gloves form it has void silk, and star silk, being binded together. Yuna. So this one also have the best of the best material, huh? Rimuru. Yes, it has an inner part when it's a glove, a thin layer of nanoparticles basically. It makes the glove materialize like how a nano machine works in the movies, those small machines that can form an object. Yuna. Yeah, it was so cool. When it formed the gloves, Chloe-san looked cool. Chloe. Foo heard that. She said I'm the coolest foo. The girls had a thick mark on their foreheads. Luminous. Excuse me, Chloe, but every one of us have that, and if anything, if we are talking about the way it materializes, then mine is cooler. Luminous said as she materializes hers, vines and flowers suddenly covers her hand, then a layer of nano machine forms the glove. Yuna. So cool. Luminous. Smirk. Chloe. Grr. The other girls seeing this also made theirs, materialized, showing different ways and such. Yuna was looking at them with shining eyes. Rimuru. All right girls, that's enough, and if we are debating on that then. Rimuru raises his left hand, materializing only his left hand. A black dragon mark shined on the back of his hand. Then a dragon-like spirit flies around his hand, then enter his palm, forming the glove from the middle of his palm outwards. The girls can't argue now, especially when Yuna had stars shining in her eyes. It looked as if she just saw her idol on TV, right in front of her. Yuna. So cool. Now the girls were jealous at Rimuru for having Yuna's attention. Author. Opening parenthesis ... So yeah, doting sisters, holy SHT, this will get weird once I make the lemon chapter. Rimuru. Anyways, let's continue. The gauntlet has a knockback effect as well, and a shatter effect. Basically these properties are dangerous. If you punch someone with it, then they either gets punched from Japan, and then they'd circle around the world back to Japan. And if you punch with the shatter effect, I think you know what that does. Also, you can even master it by making the inner parts of a body shatter, like the organs while the outside is intact, or the outside basically splashing their whole body around. Here I'll show you an example. Rimuru took out a big stone the size of a human and then punched it with the gauntlet. Surprising, it didn't break, but after Rimuru sliced it in half, Yuna saw the many cracks inside. Rimuru. Anyways, this is fatal. It's basically instant death, but for spiritual beings it's useless. But if you master it, then you can destroy the spirit body, astral body, even the soul itself, which is another thing. If you hit a physical being with the intent of destroying the soul, and have the actual ability to do it, then using the shatter properties, you can kill someone without doing any physical damage. A simple punch and the soul is destroyed. He would look as thought he died of old age, when the truth is the soul was destroyed. Yuna. Dangerous, but might be useful in case necessary. Rimuru. It is. Anyways, the skills this one has is the pierce skill, paralyzed skill. But unlike the sword, this one actually has unique skill. It's called combat. It basically has the skill that improves your combat abilities, and this also has a magic property like the glove mode. Its magic property is earth and metal manipulation. You can add the fire and ice by pouring magicules inside the gauntlet. since the gauntlet is basically an outer layer, while the glove is still in your hands. Yuna. Like wait, if I add magicules to the gloves while using the gauntlet then it's basically a flame and frozen gauntlet. Rimuru. Yes, but you can also manipulate earth and burn it making magma-like rocks to shoot, you can even act like that avatar, anime. Yuna was getting excited to train with the gauntlets. Yuna. So I can punch rocks and ice like in Avatar. Wait, can I punch someone then apply fire or ice properties, which would burn them or even freeze a part of them? Or maybe I can freeze their whole body then use shatter, to shatter them from the inside out which would destroy them faster since they are frozen ice. Rimuru and the girls were surprised how she was able to think of such brutal fighting style and yet effective. Velzard. It seems our youngest is quite brutal, and a genius in fighting. Fufufu, I pity those go against her. Girls. Agreed. Yuna was surprised, she was praised also, they didn't care about the brutality of her words. They were even smug and proud. Yuna. Well, I wasn't actually gonna use it on people. Diablo. Fufufu, that's a unique way. Yuna-sama, why haven't I think of that? Kukuku, maybe I should tell this to my children, they are fairly good in ice magic, and they have good martial arts ability in hand-to-hand combat. Said the butler besides Rimuru. Rimuru. Anyways, that's everything you need to know about your new weapons, so do you want to use your gloves now? It's still early before dinner, we could teach you before we eat. Yuna. Yes please, pleading face. Yuna said with a cute face. Everyone. Ah, such a cute creature, such cuteness. Rimuru. Ah, this adorable creature, that cuteness is bad for my heart. Diablo. This, such adorableness, we must protect this creature at all cost. Diablo thought with resolve, and planned to prepare Yuna's personal demon guards an army that she can use, if she ever needed one. He knew that Yuna would never abuse authority and use the demon army black numbers after all. Rimuru took the gloves and gave it to Yuna. Rimuru. So Yuna, in order to get them to acknowledge you, you must pour your magicules into your hand, while wearing them. And then link them to your soul, think of it as going inside your soul, I'll guide it so just concentrate on making a place for these gloves to take dormant. Rimuru placed his hand on Yuna's back while Yuna was putting it on. The gloves glowed rainbow colors, and then white and black auras emerges, a bear symbol was engraved into Yuna's hand, and then the glove disappear. Rimuru. Well, Yuna, try to summon them, by thinking of wearing the gloves, think of it like your soul as a box or a place to store things, and you're taking the gloves, while pouring magicules on the place that the symbol was engraved. I wouldn't be assisting you this time, you need to learn on your own after all. Yuna did as she was told, she concentrated and poured her magicules, but failed. She tried again and again with multiple tries but failed. Yuna. I can't summon them. Yuna said with disappointment, she wanted to show Rimuru and the others that she was capable but she failed. Rimuru. Don't worry, failure isn't a sin, Yuna, anyone could fail on their first try. Chloe. Sensei is right, even I failed on the first try, but succeeded on the next one. It was surprising when I already thousands of years of experience, while you just came to this world not so long ago, and you were doing great, this is your first failure. It's better to fail since you could learn and improve. Shizu. She's right, you know. Yuna, who hears this, becomes motivated, she wanted to impress them, she was acting like a little sister who wanted praises from her big sisters, she especially wanted to impress Rimuru, like a wife who wanted her husband's attention.